Hey, subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to ring that bell. When you ring that bell, you get all my videos instantaneously. That's wonderful. Like today's video. Hey, it's morning over here. You know how I know it's morning? I got the morning news on over there. And hot cup of coffee. Hey, you gotta have a hot cup of coffee in the morning. You know why? It's very cold. I'm in New York. It's freezing. You know how I know it's freezing? Hey, one of my pipes burst the other day. Woo, what a mess. A lot of water. So I'm cooking in the morning because I'm expecting the plumbers later on. Listen, gotta get through life. You know how you get through life? Good food, like today's food. Swedish meatballs. Amazing Swedish meatballs. With a very interesting ingredient. So interesting. It's shocking. Oh yeah, you're not gonna believe it. Okay, more on that ingredient later. Right now, Swedish meatballs. We're gonna make them vegan. Awesome. First recipe I can find in a cookbook was in 1754. It's a long time ago. Before I was born. Believe that. So it's a very traditional recipe. Now, Swedish meatballs have a couple of things in it that you have to have. A cream element. Hey, we're going to use a vegan cream for that. Allspice. Wonderful. And, you know, it's usually a meat like a beef, veal, pork. Hey, we're going to make vegan meatballs. So we're going to use some walnuts. Nice. We're going to add some quinoa as well. Very good, very healthy. Great grain. Quinoa's wonderful. Find it at your local grocery store. Absolutely. And right now, we're going to start cooking. Okay, so I promised you it's going to be a vegan meatball. So listen, if you want to, you can just use this meatball recipe with tomato sauce or any kind of sauce you want. Today we're making Swedish meatballs, so it's a special kind of sauce. But the meatball can go in anything you like. And let me tell you, every nationality has their own special meatball. So you can make it Chinese, you can make it Italian, you can make it Indian, whatever you like. Meatball recipe is beautiful. Okay, now it's going to start with eggs. But hey, we're making this not almost vegan. We're making this vegan. So I don't want to use egg. I'm going to use an egg substitute. I'm going to take chia seeds. Hey, chia seeds is wonderful. 4 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons equals 1 egg. I need 2 eggs, so I'm using 4 teaspoons. Is that 4? Hey, that's 4. 4 teaspoons. And I'm going to dilute it in hot water. What you have is this. Kind of looks like, listen, it's not the color of eggs, but that consistency is kind of like runny egg whites. Okay? Beautiful. Hey, I don't always use chia seeds as a substitute for eggs. It doesn't always work, especially like in baking, and you have these little black specks from the chia seeds. But for meatball recipe, it's awesome. And why don't you try it? Try some different things. Experiment. Play with your food. Wonderful. Okay, so here's what we got. Okay, you know, I got this blender. And it comes with this wonderful food processor attachment. Hey, I'm going to talk about that shocking ingredient now because I need it in the recipe right now. It is ginger snaps. Okay, a lot of people say, hey, you can't put cookies in that recipe. Yeah, you can, especially ginger snaps. They're awesome. It's kind of German. It's a kind of a German cookie with German kind of flavors, ginger and warm spices. This is not really a German recipe, it's a Swedish recipe, but Swedish is German-ish, so it's a stretch, but I like the flavor. If you watch all these cooking competitions on TV, sometimes someone doesn't follow the rules exactly, but they make an absolute delicious dish, and they get through that round because their dish is delicious. So, although this isn't a traditional Swedish meatballs, hey, don't leave me nasty comments about traditional Swedish meatballs. We know what a traditional Swedish meatball is, but we're going to break the rules here a little bit to give us some good flavor. Make something a little interesting. Make a variation. It's a good variation. I love using ginger snaps. They're really tasty and really good to give your food a really nice flavor. You use them instead of a thickening agent because it is actually a thickening agent. No flour necessary. We got ginger snaps, baby. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put 6 ginger snaps in the food processor. Just like that. I'm going to process it. This is just so that it's easier to mix into the sauce when I'm ready to mix into the sauce. That's all you need. I just want them broken up a little bit so they're easy to dissolve into the sauce. Hey, I'm going to use half a medium-sized onion, just cut into large chunks. 2 cups of walnuts. Half a cup of cooked quinoa. Hey, just cook the quinoa according to package directions. And I need a half a cup of that. 1 cup of white beans. I use canned white beans, that's fine. Chia seed mixture, the egg substitute. Hey, that chia seed's been soaking there. Only takes about 10 minutes. If you use the hot water, it takes less time. That's why I do that. Hey, that's wonderful. Look at that. Woo, just like eggs. Okay, in it goes. Don't forget, 2 teaspoons of salt. And half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Freshly ground black pepper. Freshly ground is awesome. When you buy pepper already ground, it starts to lose its flavor just after a couple of days. So, it's no good, man. Get a little grinder. Grind your own, nice and fresh. Get that black pepper flavor. Here we go. Okay, it's just a little loose. Okay, last ingredient, I'm going to add a half a cup of breadcrumb. Now, what I do is I use Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. I'll tell you why. Hey, bread is like the enemy of flavor. It just soaks up all your flavor. So by using Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, the breadcrumbs have some flavor. So they're going to soak up flavor, but they're also going to give some flavor. So that's why I use Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. If you use plain breadcrumbs, you may want to add another half a teaspoon salt because bread is a flavor soaker upper, baby. Don't forget that. Hey, that's a good tip. You're learning a lot today. Wonderful. Hold on a second. All right. Woo! Coffee's not bad today. Here, I'm going to take this mixture and dump it right into this bowl. Very nice. Okay. Hey, I have this little scoop. It's like 2 tablespoons. Okay? Very small. That's what I want. Nice, small scoop. Hey, Swedish Meatballs are small. Okay? I just fill that scoop a little bit rounded, like that. Beautiful meatball. Hey, this mixture is the perfect consistency. It's like, it's not dry, but it's also, it shapes very easily. Very nice. Okay, all done. Okay, next thing I have to do is cook these meatballs. So here's what I want to do. I got a nice little bowl of water over here. I'm going to dip my hands in it, get them a little wet. That'll help me to roll these meatballs without them sticking to my hands. Hey, that's another great tip. All right, let's give this pan a little spray so the meatballs don't stick. Okay, and let's roll some meatballs. Okay, beautiful. Now I'm going to spray the meatballs so that they can get a little bit of brown color when I bake them in the oven. Okay, I'm putting this in a preheated 350 degree oven. Gonna take about 15-20 minutes. I want them a little bit brown. Let's work on the sauce. Hey, before I do the sauce, there's something very important I gotta do. Hey, if you say, if you have coffee, it's good coffee. 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. You know, usually I use the vegetable broth that's a little yellowish. Today I use the one that's a little bit brownish. I want to make this into a kind of a brown sauce. I'm putting the fire on low, just trying to heat it up a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, ground allspice. Hey, if you're making Swedish meatballs, you have to have allspice in it. I told you at the beginning of the video, weren't you listening? You have to have allspice, a little bit of a kind of a cream in your Swedish meatballs. That makes the Swedish meatballs. Awesome. Let's get back to the recipe. Okay, then remember those 6 ginger snap cookies? Well, in it goes. I'm just going to whisk it up like that until it's smooth and a little bit thick. This is going to start to simmer a little bit, and then you're going to have that smooth, slightly thickened sauce. Ooh, you see that wafting? That's called wafting. Wow. Beautiful flavor. Fantastic. Okay, so I told you this has a cream element in it. Has to have it because that's a classical Swedish meatball. Anyway, so you could add a vegan sour cream. You could add vegan yogurt to it. That gives a little bit of a tang. That's very good, but I'm afraid that sour cream or yogurt is going to break. One thing you can do if you have to use like yogurt or sour cream, leave the sauce the way it is. And what you do is just add a dollop on top of the meatball when you serve it, so that people can kind of mix it in themselves. Okay, but what I'm going to do now is add like a heavy cream, but not a heavy cream because I don't want to add the dairy. So what I'm going to use is this oat milk, and the reason why I'm using this oat milk is because it's full fat. It's very rich and very nice, like a heavy cream, but it's made with oatmeal. Hey, the problem with trying to find a substitute for cream is that if you buy a creamer, which is a good substitute for cream, usually comes flavored. Vanilla, hazelnut. There's no room for those flavors in this recipe. It's got to be plain simple. So this is a good alternative. You find a good oat milk and full fat, it's going to be nice and creamy. Watch what happens when I pour it in. You'll see it's rich and nice. Beautiful. Okay, so you can see this sauce is thick. Look at that. Sauce is thickened nicely. The cream is going to actually thin it out a little bit. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of cream to this. But what I'm really doing is adding enough to thin it out nicely. There you go. Look at that. Look at how nice and creamy that is. Wonderful. Okay, so I have about 1/2 cup. I'm going to stir it up. And you have a nice, look at that nice creamy sauce you have there. Fantastic. Hey, don't forget one very important thing, right? You gotta taste it. Woo! That's delicious. Wow. It's good. It's like subtle, but it's really nice. Got some nice warming flavors to it. It's gonna make those meatballs sing and dance, baby. Sing and dance. That's awesome. Hey, I wasn't kidding before I said my pipes burst. Check this out. Ha! The pipes. I can't put these back in. They're broken. What are you going to do? You live in the Northeast, you get cold weather, you get broken pipes, frozen, whatever. So if your pipes break in the bathroom, go to the kitchen, start cooking. Check out my recipes. You'll love it. Hey, this is a great meatball recipe. I got another meatball recipe on my site, you know, for vegan meatballs made from eggplant. Wonderful stuff. You got to check that out, too. Meanwhile, let's check out the oven. Those meatballs are ready. So is the sauce. Check out those meatballs. They're beautiful. Okay, so this is a special meatball. I even have a special platter I use for these. Family heirloom. Got it from a cousin. Very special cousin. Okay, here it is. Check that out. Isn't that nice? Okay, then I take a nice spoon. Hey, look at that sauce. That sauce is wonderful. Look at that. Great texture. Great consistency. Okay. Take the sauce. Put that all over those meatballs. Woo! Very nice. Check that out. Wonderful dish. Hold on 1 second. Mmm. Delicious. Very good. Okay.